Krishna Das says European invaders made false claims about Sati Pratha, about devotees getting crushed under the Rath in Jagannath Puri. Similarly, I think they have also destroyed the Native American history by putting false information like the Aztecs sacrificed humans by slicing their chest and offered the still beating heart to their deities. Interesting point that you raise. So first of all, we have to understand some of it. We have archaeological evidence of human sacrifice in, let's say, present day Mexico and so on. Let me show you an example. It's not going to be gory, okay, but just in case you don't like to see such things, maybe you should not. There is something called a Tzompantli. Tzompantli. Let me put that on the screen. What's a Tzompantli? Let's do a Google search. I just did that. I'll put that on the screen. A Tzompantli is it was a skull rack. It was found in many Aztec cities. The most prominent one is the Huey Tzompantli, located in the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan, which is currently now known as Mexico City. They did have this. They used to build these skull racks. In some cases, it is just images, carvings of skulls, not real skulls. But this is how it was described by the conquistadors, the people, the Europeans who came and destroyed Latin America. They said that these people were barbarians and they used to have these immense human sacrifices. Clearly, some sacrifices did happen. But what was the context of these sacrifices? Did they sacrifice innocent men, women, children, or did they sacrifice prisoners of war? If you look at the archaeological record and you find, let's say a mass grave with the bodies whose heads are removed, would you construe that as a human sacrifice, or would you construe that as a military execution? So in certain contexts, military executions are acceptable. In certain contexts, historically it's happened. Today I don't know what international law says, but historically it has happened and it still continues to happen, whether people like it or not. So let's say you're fighting an enemy nation and you have been told not to take prisoners and advance as far as quickly as possible, and let's say 20 of your enemy surrenders to you. What you gonna do? They're gonna slow you down. So when the general tells you don't take any prisoners, it means you have to dispose of them. This is what has happened for thousands of years historically. So maybe these, what looks like sacrifices, obviously it's a gory way, of a ghastly way of positioning the skulls and all that, but there may be reasons other than what we are told for these things. For instance, we in Hindu iconography, in Hindu art, when it comes to goddess Kali, she is depicted as having a garland of human skulls. Now clearly these are the skulls of evil people, evil doers. The same goes with other goddesses, goddess Durga, goddess Chamunda, etc. Does this mean that India was a nation that performed human sacrifices? No, it's not. So the context is extremely important. And when it comes to these Europeans, the way they write about, the way they have historically written about cultures that they crushed and conquered and destroyed, they have always tried to create an atrocity narrative. So whatever we know about the Aztecs and the various Mesoamericans, etc., it's all through the writings of European conquerors who destroyed these cultures and genocided the people. And when you destroy a culture, you will kind of try to justify that. So you're gonna go and claim that they were very evil and they had human sacrifices and they used to sacrifice millions of people or some such outlandish thing. The same way they have written about India, these false claims of millions of women being forced to commit sati and thousands of devotees getting crushed under the rath of the Jagannath Rath Yatra chariot in Puri, Odisha every year. These are outright lies. So it obviously it raises the question as to the veracity of their claims about the Aztecs and other Mesoamerican, South American, Latin American cultures. I am of the opinion most likely much of this is lies. There must have been some human sacrifice. That's likely, but not at the level that has been written about by the European destroyers of these nations.